Yes, God family. Okay, happy Thursday, y'all. My name is Megan, and I am your favorite transformation and goddess consciousness life coach. Today, I want to share with you 4 simple tips on how you can become unrecognizable in just 1 week. Also, be sure to stick around until the end of the video, and I will be sharing a big surprise. Now, I'm trusting that everyone can hear me. This is my second time recording this video. I didn't realize my mic was muted, but now it's not muted. So I pray that everyone can hear me so I don't have to do this again. So, right now in your life, you may be feeling stuck. You may not know how to reach your goals. You may not be making the progress you want. You may feel frustrated because you feel like you're making someone else's dreams come true while yours are sitting on the back burner. And I have been there, done that, and I know that it can be really, really crippling. And it can also cause internal conflict because you may feel like you know what you want to do, but you just don't have enough time. And so, what I'd like to ask before I start here is just one favor before I start spilling all this good tea. Please be open to try something new. If you want different results from the ones that you have right now, you're going to need to make different decisions. The fantastic news is that these tips are very small tweaks because here at Yes God Wellness, we are focused on embodying a feminine energy approach. And feminine energy naturally multiplies everything it touches. So a little goes a long way. So anyone can use this. It works just the same. But just again, please be open to something new. Don't allow your mind to dismiss this because you may think it's too much work or, not that. Again, if you're not happy with your results right now, at least be open to hearing something new. All right. So, procrastination is not your problem. Laziness is not your problem. Lack of motivation is not your problem. Excuse me. Your goals and dreams aren't being fulfilled. And there's a nagging voice inside of you that's not going to stop pushing you because your purpose is never going to leave you alone. It's never going to happen. So until you align with it, you're constantly going to be pulled towards it. All right. So let me tell you what a few of the problems are. Okay. One of the problems is that you haven't been in enough pain yet to do anything about your current circumstances. You haven't reached that breaking point. You haven't been forced to make some different decisions. All right. Another problem you may be having is that you haven't made a concrete decision. That's what most people's issue is they haven't really decided. They've talked about what they wanted. They may have identified a few things that they wanted, but they haven't actually decided that this is what I'm having. Wanting and having are 2 different energies, 2 different perspectives, and they create 2 completely different approaches and 2 different results. Another problem is that you may think it's too hard or you don't have enough time. Another problem is that your ego will not allow you to consider doing things a different way to get the same thing accomplished, doing it different than you may have previously done it before. Another problem is that you probably get paralyzed by disappointment and you try to escape in any way possible other than just going through the fire and allowing it to purify your negative patterns and beliefs. Identifying what you want is not the same as creating what you want. So you may have, again, decided that you want something, but until you decide that you will have it, you probably are not going to see much progress. For example, I can decide that I want to start running, right? But until I decide that I will and I am going to be a runner, until I take on that identity, I haven't even begun to scratch the surface on executing my desire because taking on the identity, making the decision is the manifestation. All right. So the good news is that you and you alone have control over your own perspective. I'm going to give you these 4 simple tips that you can do for just a week. And I can guarantee you that this will transform you. Your mindset will be so expanded that you may not even be able to recognize yourself. Okay. So these steps are from my coaching framework, which, by the way, I am launching the Become Unrecognizable in 8 Weeks coaching cohort starting October 1st. So be sure to fill out the application form listed under this video if you're interested in that. All right. I'm only taking 15 women for the initial cohort. So number 1, deciding exactly what you want and commit to that. And even if you don't know how it could possibly happen, the decision is the manifestation. just because you don't know how something's happened, or you feel like, oh, I'm not going to be able to do this, or I'm not going to be able to do that thing that you think is required for your manifestation to come to pass, don't worry about that. Mind your business. Let God do what God does, which is the heavy lifting, the logistics, the implementation. All right. You will be amazed at how powerful making a concrete decision is. It begins with magnetizing the resources that you need. And I'm not just talking about money. Once you make the decision, you become this magnet to this new identity. I'm talking about opportunities. I'm talking about conversations. I'm talking about networking, chance happenings, random encounters, plenty of right places and right time scenarios. So many people don't refuse to make, they refuse to make a decision because they don't know how it's going to play out. And I'm here to remind you that it's none of your business. Just do it. Okay. On that note, sometimes you may not know exactly what you want for yourself. You may just know, I don't know what I want, but I know what's happening right now is not working. So you can simply start with a list of the things that you don't like about what's currently going on. And you can take the opposite of all those things, and that will be the new version. Okay, that will be what your new North Star is. And again, don't just decide, write them down. Put them somewhere that you can see them daily. Write them on your mirror, put them on Post-it notes, put them as your screensaver on your phone, put them anywhere that you are constantly going to have your attention subconsciously going all day long. Okay. Two, the second tip, start doing a brain dump every single morning. I would recommend at least a page or two. Write down any and everything that's on your mind, your worries, your feelings, your thoughts, your gratitude, how you're looking forward to certain things, how you're nervous about certain things, how you're excited about certain things. This is going to allow the monkey mind that lives inside of all of us to have an outlet. Once we get these things out, we have effectively made space for the new insights and intuition that God's going to be dropping in there. Because remember, we become this magnet. So we got to free up the space so that we are open to the infinite ways and possibilities that God can bring things to pass. Okay. So remember, you can't get to a new location without an address and a GPS. I mean, you could, but it would take a long time. You be going out of your way. Like, again, that's not what we do over here. We want to do things efficiently, as quickly as possible. We want to put 20% in and get 80% out. All right. The third tip is micro gratitude. Every day when you wake up, I highly, highly recommend, during your brain dump, before, after, I incorporate it in my brain dump sometimes, but be sure to mention 10 small things, micro gratitude. All right. We're not doing generic stuff. We're not doing the house, the car, the this, the that. We're going to get granular. So things like, I'm so grateful to feel the breeze on my skin. I'm so grateful for the pleasant smells around me, my candles, my incense, my cologne, my perfume. I'm so grateful to for the conversations I have with my loved ones. I'm so grateful when I was cracking up with my loved ones and we had, just be grateful for your connections with people. Really think about the nuances of life. Okay. Because that's going to really drop you into the present moment and help you to be super grateful, which is what? Another magnet. And just a bonus to throw in there, smile. Smile as much as you can. That is a magnet too. That invites people and invites things to you. And that's what you want. You want to be inviting things effortlessly. You don't want to have to be going out and doing all the time. All right. Number 4, the last one, decide what your high impact tasks are. I call them HIT inside of my coaching. High impact tasks. Basically, these are the tasks that are going to give you the most bang for your buck. Okay. They're going to give you the most return on your energy. So again, once you decide what who you're going to be, who it is, what your goal is, what your next version of yourself is, you're going to pick out 3, no more. You can do maybe 3 to 5 hits for every single day. And those are your non-negotiable. Those are things that have to be done every single day. And that's the magic, is that you want to make sure that you're touching these things every single day. It's not necessarily the intensity of a thing as much as it is about the frequency of the thing. So think about the tortoise and the hare. That story outlines how hard and fast doesn't get you any further than slow and steady. As a matter of fact, it puts you behind slow and steady. So it's better to do something for 5 minutes a day than get paralyzed because you're like, oh, I got to do that for 2 hours and I'm not doing it. So I'm just not going to do it. No, just do a little bit, compounds over time. All right. So for example, my 3 hits right now are my brain dumping, my fitness class, and writing every day. Those are my non-negotiables. And because they have become non-negotiable for me through repetition and through making sure I touch them every day, now my capacity has expanded. So now I don't just go to fitness class. I've decided to begin roller skating. I've decided to try my hand at running. It's a waterfall effect. So the main point that I'm trying to get through here is just decide what your hits are and touch them every single day. And also, if you're like me and you need to write lists to keep yourself organized, I like to write a get to do list every day. And of course, my 3 hits are on there, but also, anything going on that I may need to remember or handle or do, errands, things like that. I always write them down so that I have something that I can look at and go back and cross off. All right. It's super powerful. All right. So a lot of times we beat ourselves up and we say we're procrastinating or lazy or we can't get our shit together, whatever our narrative is in our head. And that's making us feel like crap. So we're going to stop doing that. We're going to accept that we're imperfect and we're going to have grace while we're in the in-between times. Okay. You're not lazy. You just haven't decided to touch things every day. You haven't decided what your high impact tasks are, and you haven't committed to touching them every day. All right. They don't need to be grandiose. Again, they can be very small commitments. As long as you're touching them every day, they're going to be way more effective than not doing shit. All right. So again, I mentioned this earlier, but if you're interested in the 8-week Become Unrecognizable coaching cohort, the link is below in the comments. It is starting October 1st. So let's not wait till New Year's. We're not doing the sheep stuff. We're going to quantum jump the rest of 2024. Okay. And in this cohort, we're going to be meeting to work in a safe and intimate space. It's all virtual, where we're going to be able to come out of our anxious mind and come back down into our divine feminine power. Okay. So we're going to be getting clear about our decision, our clear cut decision of the next best version of ourselves. We're going to be doing that together in the cohort. We're going to be identifying our high impact tasks together in the cohort. We're going to be learning the ACE framework to heal and transform your life. That's what I use in my private coaching. And by the way, this is a priceless skill set, one that I use every single day of my life and that I help my clients to use every single day of their life. Also check below in the comments. I'm going to put some testimonials there. We're going to be meeting weekly for framework education, accountability, reflection, and regrouping. And then we're also going to have access to a private community every single day to interact and communicate with the other people inside of the cohort for support, for guidance, for sharing our wins, right? Because we're going to be holding each other accountable. We're going to have someone there that's going to say, hey, how did your hits go today? Did you experience anything miraculous and amazing? Because we're absolutely expecting that day 1. Yes, God. All right, so even if the cohort isn't for you, please go ahead and subscribe to my newsletter at transformationperiod.com. Also, please feel free to reach out to me directly with any questions or clarifications. Okay, I hope that you will enjoy the rest of your day. I am sending you a lot of love, and I will talk to you soon. Yes, God.